Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing good with your family, with your work, and with your study online. Now, welcome to my next slide video presentation. Today, I'm going to give you some advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire and observation, which are of the method of data collection. Okay, so advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire and observation. When do you use questionnaire? When do you use observation? So based on some explanation and some guideline of choosing whether questionnaire or observation, you can do this. All right. So now go with me one by one. Questionnaire. What is the good points of the using questionnaire to collect the data? All right, in research, right? So it is less expensive. When you use questionnaire, you just deliver a written list of the question to participant, and no need to no need to stay with the respondent or the participant. You just give the questionnaire and then you wait for the result. All right, so it is less expensive. You save time, human and financial resources, right? And also it offers greater anonymity. That means no interaction face to face between the interviewer or between you and participant. Okay, so next, how about disadvantages of the questionnaire? Do you think using questionnaire is for all situations when you collect the data? So do you agree with this? I don't agree, right? So questionnaire has its own limitation, right? So application that we can choose has not widen, okay? Because in terms of the limited application, the questionnaire is workable with readable, writable respondents. Okay, and also it is not for illiterate, the young, the old, or the handicapped. Right. So that is application limitation for questionnaire. And after that, the next point is you get a low response rate. That means when you give 100 pieces, 100 written lists of questionnaire to 100 participants, you might not get all 100 questionnaire back. That is questionnaire failing, right? And also self-selecting bias. So not everyone who receive a questionnaire return it. That is the problem. That is the problem. So the researcher, a new researcher, you have to think about the disadvantages of the using questionnaire. Sometimes you use questionnaire, sometimes you use observation, worksheet, sometimes you have to use interview. All right, okay. Disadvantages of questionnaire next, lack of opportunity to clarify the issue. Some participants do not understand the question in the questionnaire. So otherwise you have no time to explain, to clarify this point or that point. All right. So the result might be fact. The result might get unclear. Okay. The result is unclear. Spontaneous responses are not allowed for. Okay, mail questionnaire is inappropriate. So you cannot get the answer at the same time because you use questionnaire, right? Next, the response to a question may be influenced by the response to the other questions. So respondent can read all the question and they don't understand. It can be affected by their knowledge of their question. Sometimes they are in low level of education, so they cannot read and understand all the questions in the questionnaire. So here, that is the bad point for using questionnaire. Next, it is possible to consult others. So For example, you are given a written list of the questionnaire, and then you have to fill in all the questionnaire for the researcher. But for you, you say you have no time to fill in the questionnaire. You ask your brother, you ask your sister, you ask your friend, you ask your colleague to fill in it instead, right? So what is the answer? What is the perspective, or what is your concepts or your idea regarding the questionnaire, needs or questionnaires questions? So that is a kind of cheating, right? Cheating. You ask someone to do for you. A response next. The response cannot be supplemented with the other information. It can be supplemented with information that the other people collect from. So we cannot compare with that. All right. Next, how about the interview? The interview. All right. The interview. The advantages of interview. Interview is more appropriate for complex situation. So you can use for all, right? And also easy to understand or easy for the respondent. It is useful for collecting in-depth information. If you want to get the further information, you can ask further questions. That as a result, you can get in-depth information, or you get in-depth data. So the information can be supplemented, can be supported, right, regarding or in terms of how good, how well you ask the respondents. Next, question can be explained. Yes, of course, if you compare with the questionnaire, questions cannot be explained, right? So if the interviewee don't understand the questions asked by you, so you can clarify the question, or you can simplify the question for interviewee understanding, right? And also interviewing has a wide application. You can use for all. For example, you can work with children, you can work with the handicapped, you can work with the illiterate, you all very old, okay? Because all these kinds of application can hear you and can reply you, answer your questions, okay? How about disadvantages? Okay, disadvantages. First is time consuming and also very expensive. Time consuming, that means a very short time. You cannot spend 30 minutes or 1 hour for one participant or for one respondent. You have to take much time, right? And also it's very expensive because sometimes you have to go to the remote area to collect the data from the respondent who lives there. So otherwise you have to pay the transportation, you have to pay for accommodation, you have to pay meals, so on. That these are very expensive. And next, the quality of data depend upon the quality of the interaction. How good interview is, and how well the interview asks the question interviewee. So otherwise the interview can give you exact answer or exact perspective or concept toward the question concept that you want to hunt for, okay, that you want to hunt for your research. Next, the quality of data depend on the quality of the interview. That the how well you prepare the question and how good interaction is. So this is very important for the interviewer. Have to observe, okay? Have to observe and have their own skill asking, interviewing, or interacting with the respondents. Next, the advantages of the interview. The quality of data may vary when many interviews are used. This is very important point that you have to think about how many interviewer and how they are trained, Even you have more than one or more than two interviewer for your research projects, but make sure that the same people get the same guideline, get the same instructed, okay, get the same instruction before they go to the participant or respondent, or before they go to the area of the study. All right, so make sure that you train them how to ask the question, how to get feedback, how to interact with the respondents. Okay. Next, the researcher may introduce his or her bias. Sometimes the interviewer just conclude the answer, conserve for idea instead of the respondents. Okay. Okay. This is the forms of the questions used in questionnaire. Okay, you can see close-ended question. You can see here the instruction is please indicate your age by putting a tick in the appropriate category. So this is we call close-ended question. Respondents are given some option like under 15, from 15 to 19 years, 20 to 24 years, 25 to 30 years. That is the option. So this is called close-ended question. And what, in your opinion, are the quality of education, and why do young adults like learning English? So this is we call open-ended question. That means respondents are not given option or choices to choose. Okay? So thank you very much for paying my attention to this slide video presentation. Hope you are fine with this. If you have any question, please please drop your question in the group, and I'm going to answer your question. All right. So thank you again for your time. See you. Good luck.